trust stuff. Definitely agree with it. Alright, Sam, you over to you now. And we'll just get your slides up.
While I'm waiting for that, just on Martin's fantastic talk there, that's actually how the Marine Stewardship Council and the Aquaculture Stewardship Council came about too. It was because they realised when they originally set it up that, again, there was that choke point within the seafood industry where a majority of the world's seafood was sold through, I think it was 70 companies in the world. It was a very small, relatively small number of companies, and that's how they focused on getting sustainability and getting those programs up and running. Look, my talk today is a bit more, I suppose, back down to an individual company level. I'm the one that's dragged out on the sort of token person that works in the aquaculture seafood industry that's based in Canberra. So I get rolled out on these events.
That is so untrue.
Look, I'm happy because I get to meet all you great individuals. So I think it's fantastic, and we've actually employed quite a few people that have done this program. In fact, I think the majority of my staff have actually done this program now. So I'm pretty proud of that. Blue Harvest. So we're a sales and marketing agency that specialises in aquaculture products predominantly, and more we've actually started to specialise in crustaceans, mollusks, shellfish. So we've really got out of the finfish sector, and we're really focusing on farmed prawns, oysters, mussels, pippies, scallops. So that's the space that we're working in. We're a sales and marketing agency, so we actually don't buy the product. We're like a Elders or a Landmark. We help facilitate sales. So I suppose I'll go back to this slide. This is where we first came from. When I first got involved in aquaculture, we were in a market where there was a lot of antagonism between the suppliers and the marketplace. So you're a supplier, you're working against the wholesalers, you're a wholesaler, you're working against the suppliers. There wasn't any transparency. There was a very conflict-focused relationship, and there was a lack of transparency. There was a lot of price volatility as a result, and there was no predictability in the marketplace for suppliers to work in or for the market to work in. What Blue Harvest, I suppose, in a nutshell, tries to do nowadays is create sustainable industry supply chains. And I don't mean sustainable just in the sense of environmental sustainability. I mean, and I will touch on it later on, but sustainability in the sense it's there's transparency in the supply chain, and those supply chains actually have collaboration throughout the supply chain, so that everyone in the supply chain is working together, and it makes it a sustainable business. And ultimately our aim is to give the consumer the best experience possible. In that note, we did start as sales and marketing very much on logistics, but now when I look at all the roles that we're involved in, it's actually quite, it keeps extending. And our latest extension is we've just installed artificial intelligence so that we can start doing sales forecasting for a supply of fresh product into the major supermarkets. So we're trying to deliver prawns from far north Queensland that have a 12-day shelf life, but we're doing next day delivery to the major retailers so that they can order on Tuesday and be delivered on Wednesday. So we're actually starting to do processing on board the semi-trailer as it rumbles down the road. The reason I've got this slide up here is this is one of the proudest moments I've had this year when we were at the New South Wales Oyster Farmers Conference, and after the speeches at the dinner, Daniela, who's done this program, asked all our oyster farmers that Blue Harvest represented to come together to have a group photo. And I was amazed a lot of how many people we actually represented in that room, and this represents about 40% of the New South Wales oyster production. What it's created is a lot of collaboration, a lot of friendships within those groups, within those growers, and you range from the two largest growers in the state to some really small growers in the state. But they're all collaborating, they're all working together. And Blue Harvest in that sense is just a vehicle. We're just a vehicle that they can harness their market power together, and it was a really proud moment for all of us at Blue Harvest and the Blue Harvest oyster growers. So Blue Harvest is morphing a bit. So we started off as a sales and marketing agency. It's still an important part of our business, but we've now got Blue Harvest Aquaculture. And I suppose part of what Jill asked us to talk about is an introduction of what we've done, but also where we're going and what we're sort of proud of at the moment. So this is a project that I've been focused on, where we're developing one of Australia's largest mussel shellfish farms down in Jervis Bay and Eden. We're also going to be looking at seaweed, so we're focusing initially on mussels, but we're looking at seaweed, scallops, and we can also look at oysters on our licences. It's an exciting project because basically, it's the first time that we're vertically integrated, but it's a really nice space to work in. We work with one of the world's most sustainable food groups, and we're also working with the local Indigenous community down there. So there's a lot of points that us as a company are really proud of, and we've gone from conceptual stage to actually seeing it happen. So we've now got boats on the water. This was taken about 4 weeks ago in Tasmania, where we're getting a new barge built. We've got some key employees on the water, and we actually got mussel ropes on the leases. So that's where a lot of our focus is, and more Blue Harvest and through Blue Harvest Aquaculture, we'll be looking to team up with existing aquaculture operators and then play a management role. We've also obviously got access to the marketplace. This is where, on our talk that Jill asked us, where we can really have collaboration within the industry and work together. And I'm going to concentrate, I suppose, at an industry level rather than industry association level. You can absolutely have sustainability in the supply chain by having collaboration. So it starts with creating a shared value proposition throughout the supply chain, so taking the antagonism out of the supply chain, and so that we're all working for the common goal, which is consumer-driven solutions. And you can only do that with transparency, and you've got to be able to do that where you actually recognise that you have to run the supply chain in the most efficient manner. If there's people involved in the supply chain that aren't adding value, genuine value to the consumer, they need to be removed from the supply chain. You need to have continual product development so that you can actually, again, come back to consumer-driven solutions. So this is where I suppose we've been really focusing on industry-wide solutions, whether it's the oyster industry or the farm prawn industry or the mussel industry. We're actually getting the supermarkets involved, the processors involved, the freight companies involved, the R&D scientists involved who are doing the genetics programs, the food technologists involved, so that we can come up with really good sustainable solutions for the consumer. Which really comes back to, and I had this slide up last year, and I was going to replace it, and I can't believe that he's still there, and that it's still appropriate. But, and it relates back to, I don't know if most of you would have been aware, when Donald Trump had that that meeting where basically all his ministers had to hop up and sing his praises. One thing I'd probably emphasise with this is that you can't be a genuine leader in the seafood industry or in any industry for that matter if you're not willing to call things out. And I think that's the message for me is if you're really going to be genuine and take a leadership role, then you've got to be prepared to be the one that stands up in the room and calls the emperor out. And that would be my take-home message. So there's some people that are happy to sit back and go walk out of the room and then start bitching about, I didn't agree with that person, I wish I'd said something, but they didn't. Compared to the person that actually stood up in the room and goes, sorry, I disagree with you for these reasons. And so if there's one take-home message from this leadership program is call things out, back yourself, and if you do that and you've got the facts behind you and you believe in what you're saying, you'll go a long way in this industry. It's a fantastic industry to be involved in, and this is a fantastic course. And it's been probably the single best thing that I've seen in the seafood industry is the number of graduates that come through this group. And you are a group, you know, and I think Jill probably would have talked about this and Chris, but value this network that you're going to create in this room, because it's an incredibly powerful network, and also value the network of all the previous graduates that have gone through this course, because it's going to be one of the most valuable gifts that you're going to have. Thanks very much.